Hey everyone, Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler, another What's Sold on eBay Today video. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. If you're not subscribed, definitely click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and if anytime during this video you learn something, please click the like button if you enjoy this content. Once again, I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler. We have this What's Sold on eBay video series. There's tons of videos. I think there's like 67 of them, so definitely go and check them all out. They're pretty much all relevant. You'll learn some information. I'll basically go over what I paid for them, what they sold for, and a little bit of history and anything like that. I know I got a comment yesterday about someone was saying just get to the point. I guess they just don't have the time to listen to my stories, but I think a lot more people enjoy the stories than not. So I'm definitely not going to change anything about my channel just because one person says that they want it a certain way. That's not how I roll. If you want to roll that way, just click the 2x button and you can speed through the whole video and get to the relevant information. So once again, let's get right into it. Today we have this 2008 East-West Bank Terracotta Chinese warrior statue plaque. I just kind of really went crazy with the keywords here. But this was actually a very weird piece I found at a thrift shop. I think it was $6 plus a little bit of a discount. And what it is pretty much like a shadow box frame thing that had a little terracotta warrior in it. And it must have been a gift to maybe someone at the bank, maybe a client or something like that during this event. I did research this heavily as I thought this might have been worth a lot more than it was or what I sold it for. I think I started this thing at like $1,200 or something ridiculous because there was no photos of this online. There was nothing about this anywhere, which is could be a good sign, could be a bad sign. But anyways, I took a best offer for I think it was like 170 something for this, and shipping this was a little crazy. I definitely put a lot of effort into shipping this. It probably took me about 20 minutes to pack this up, as I put the cardboard where the glass is and the bubble wrap, and I secured the corners and made sure there was no shake. The only thing I was worried about during shipping was the Terracotta Warrior. I'm not completely sure, but I think he's screwed in there. I don't think he's glued in there. Stuff like this could easily be broken in shipping. That's why I usually don't mess with delicate things anymore, especially like plates. And I mean, plates are okay, but I mean, think like delicate Yardro statues and really crazy porcelain, things like that that can be broken. This was a gamble. Luckily, it paid off. The person that got it loved it, and so that is that. Once again, I paid $6 for this, and it sold for about 100 and something. So it was actually a pretty good return on investment. I went with my gut on this one. It was weird, and I loved it. And I love Terracotta Warriors. If you've never studied that whole portion of history, it's really cool. Next up, we have this Rafiki plush Disney Parks. I paid like $3 for this, I think. It's kind of large. It was kind of on the bigger side, but it had its tags. It's a 16-inch Rafiki, as you can see here. This has actually sold for about $80 before, $70 before, so I was very stoked to find this. And a lot of people are going to tell you, like, plush, there's a lot of money in plush, which there is, but I'm going to say it's just like VHS tapes. There's lots of plush, and finding the ones that are actually the value is going to take you, years, if not longer, to figure that out. But for the most part, if it has a tag, you can scan it and look it up, especially if you know the characters and things like that. It definitely helps. I've noticed that Disney stuff, Disney plush is usually where you want to go to. You want to kind of stay away from Beanie Babies and stuff like that unless they're the older beanies. And by the way, I made a video about older Beanie Babies, and maybe if I can remember, I'll put a link up there to that if you want to research Beanie Babies. But back to this Rafiki, paid $3, sold for $59.99 plus $11.99 shipping. I put this in like a poly mailer and then put it in a box. I definitely ship all my plush in boxes. I don't like shipping stuff like this in bubble mailers, as it's just a little bit more professional and something that I do, especially when someone paid like $60 for this plus shipping. It was a little bit on the heavier side, so it did go priority. So there is that. Next up, we have this Nintendo game. This was Punch-Out. I've talked about this before. I talked about Nintendo games before. I did a Know Your Stuff on Nintendo games also, and if I can remember, I will put a link right here for that if you want to learn a little bit of information about Nintendo games. This is the original Nintendo game from 1985, or at least that's when they started. They ran all the way through like 94 or 96 or something like that. Anyways, Punch-Out here was not the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out after Mike Tyson got arrested for some kind of I don't think it was like statutory rape or something crazy like that. Nintendo pulled all the other ones and released this one without Mike Tyson in it. We talked about this before, and this sold for $7.99 plus $3.99 shipping. This was purchased for $2 at a local thrift shop. And for the most part, for testing these, I suggest if you're doing reselling full time, definitely collect all the old systems so that you have them on hand. So you have a testing station. I have a testing station, and for the most part, Nintendo games aren't going to work. They're not broken. They're just dirty, or like the pins that the actual system hold that connect the games to the thing are dirty. Usually you can take some rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip and clean out the little connectors that are on the bottom here. A lot of people definitely say they don't suggest that, but I've been doing that since the 80s, and I've never had a problem with using rubbing alcohol and Q-tip. You don't want to be, it doesn't want to be soaked, but you want to kind of like dip it in and then kind of dab it on a paper towel so that it's moist, and then you can clean the connectors that are on both sides. And so that is that. Next up, we have this Jabra Storm Bluetooth wireless headset thing. I bought this at a thrift shop. It was $1 because it was in some kind of weird. That's a whole other story. Never mind. I'm not even going into that. But anyways, I paid $1 for this. I knew what it was. I looked it up, and it was actually selling for, around $15, $20, $30. And so I had all its little components, which was nice. It was in pretty much near mint condition. So I cleaned it up with some cleaner and things like that, because people put these things in their ears, and for the most part some of them are gross, but this one actually was in near mint condition. So anyways, I paid $1 for this. I think I took a best offer for 15 something. I paid $1 for it. I just wanted to get rid of it to move the thing fast. But definitely look into weird things like this, especially if you have the instructions and all the little pieces there to it. Some of these things can go for a pretty good amount of money. Next up, we have this Three Stooges 1996 Spumco TV Pals. These are 11-inch Plush. These are a set. We talked about this before. I went to an event at a thrift shop and bought all of these that they had. I think there was like 5 sets. And I'm going to say I kind of made a little bit of a mistake on these. I did pay $20 for the set of 3. And that's a pretty good deal. They did have their boxes, but they didn't have their outer boxes. Now, here's the thing is I think they make like a 20-inch one set, so they're larger. And when I did comps, I didn't realize that till I got home. And so those go for about $100 on eBay for the large set. This is actually the smaller one, so that was a mistake that I made. So definitely, if you're out in the field, don't just be compulsory and just purchase something on an impulse like that. Definitely do research. I should have looked more into this, but I figured I looked at these figures. I didn't even realize there was 2 different sizes. So that was a huge deal, because this smaller size doesn't go for as much as $100. They're lucky to hit $40 or $50. So I'm just pretty much trying to get my money back on these at this point. Anyways, I took a best offer for $35 plus $11.99 shipping. These fit pretty nice in a standard box, and they were shipped right out. So hopefully I can sell the rest of these. Next up, we have this Game Boy Advance game, which is pretty much a Nintendo Game Boy Advance. These came out in, I think, I say Game Boy Advances were maybe early 2000s, all the way through the 2000s. Anyways, this is sort of mana game. It's a pretty popular game, and I think I own this game, so it wasn't something I purchased at a thrift shop or anything. But anyways, it sold for $9.99 plus $2.99 shipping. This is one of those things that randomly found in boxes of things. So I was like, oh, I wonder how much is it going for, and it was just a pretty good flip. Just standard things around the house. You can definitely go around the house and find dozens of things that are worth $1 that you can sell for $10 plus shipping, and it's small. And that's another thing. I should probably actually make a video on that stuff. Ever since 1995 when I started on eBay, and man, eBay in 1995, I wish I can show you guys what that was about. Maybe I can do a video on that at some point. But anyways, even since then, I knew that I wanted to buy and sell smaller items so they're easy to ship, easy to store. This is a perfect example of things if you can get into this for sure. Next up, we have this Star Wars Japanese F Toys 1/144 scale AT-AT figure. I bought a bunch of these back in the day. I want to say maybe 2006 I purchased these. I was actually going to do customs of these because the plastic is kind of very there's no really detail. So I was taking my airbrush and I was redoing these and then putting them on plaques and selling them for like 150 bucks. And I had a bunch of these left, so I found one of them, and I should actually go pull out the rest of them. And this sold really quick for $24.99 plus $3.99 shipping. These are pretty much impossible to find. They were imports to begin with. The next ones probably could sell for $30 or $40, so we'll see. I do have a box of these in storage somewhere. I got to pull them out. I actually know where they are, but I need to pull these out. But anyways, this is just a weird thing. Even if you scanned this thing, it's not going to show up. That's how rare these are. And so these are a quick flip, and definitely Star Wars stuff is something to look forward to and into. Once again, I'm Reseller here. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. I really appreciate it. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or just want to say hi. I definitely appreciate all that stuff. And thanks for all those that have signed up for Steam Monsters. Steam Monsters is just taking over the blockchain crypto gaming world, and just proud to be a part of that whole situation. So once again, I'm Chris, the Thrift Shop Hustler, and we'll see you next time. Take care.